tonight. I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive. And the world will turn it inside out. Yeah, I'm floating around in ecstasy. So don't stop me now. Don't stop me, cause I'm having a good time. Having a good time. I'm a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna go, go, go. There's no stopping me. I'm burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. That's my favorite Queen song. Me and Yara have a mean duet for that song. Y'all not ready for that.
You must record it for us, please. Please.
She was trying to help me warm my voice up in the bathroom, so we was both like singing it. Didn't really work because you hear what my voice sounds like, but we had a good time.
That's what matters the most. Making memories with the babies.
Right. So hey y'all.
Hello.
This is the South Side of Wakanda, the best podcast in the multiverse. I am Madison with a Y, but it's not where you think.
And I am a member of the Luke Cage Eskimo Sisters Club.
Ooh, to be in that number.
Every single woman in this show has banged Luke Cage.
Man, and they are all okay about it. So that's what I know.
And you
the
know,
D is.
You want to know, they all okay about it. Luke Cage don't have no type of preference because he got him a black queen.
Yes.
He got him a Latina queen.
Yes.
And he got him a nice little pale goddess too. So It's just like, he like them all.
His dick is rated E for everybody. Ooh,
I wasn't expecting that. That was funny. Write that down.
Oh my God. Oh, so if this is your first time joining us, this is a normal thing
Yes.
between us. We are two black queens who discuss the MCU live action content, including the movies and the TV shows. We do not read the comic books and we do not gatekeep. So if you are one of those people, join us. This week, we're going to be talking about The Defenders Season 1, Episodes 1 through 4, and She-Hulk Episodes 4 and 5.
Because we missed last week. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, that was unexpected. We usually try to warn y'all when we're taking off a week, but last week I had just got back from a work traveling experience, and I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Me and Shani usually take a nap before the show, and I was texting her what if we just didn't record? Because I couldn't get out the bed.
it was so funny because it was I was kind of ready, but I had just woke up from a nap, and then you were like, well, what if we push it back to this time? And I was like, all right, cool. I get to lay down for some more. And then you were like, all right, 30 more minutes. And then you were like, what if we just didn't record? And I was like,
I was going
we both
through
tired.
It. Yeah, usually I'll just push through. We both just pushed through, but last week, it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah. And I don't think I've mentioned this on the podcast, but I'm having a baby.
Yeah.
So
I'm very pregnant.
All of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired all of the time. Brittany was tired. So I was like, you know what? We want to be able to give y'all some quality shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we can't be the way we are, then, we just going to take a little day off and we going to come back harder and stronger.
Both of our personality batteries.
Like the Greyjoys.
Right.
What is dead may never die. You said both of our personalities what?
Oh, both of our personality batteries was dead. So it wouldn't have been like this last week. No.
I'm nice and refreshed.
But speaking of Shani's pregnancy, I guess we could say now, obviously when she has the baby, we're going to go on a hiatus for a couple months. So
yeah, we will try and record because due in January and then Quantum Mania comes out in February. So we are going to try to record for that.
Yeah.
So we will give y'all something.
Yeah. We're going to treat it like a maternity leave, probably 12 weeks.
Yeah, we gonna post some type of content. We don't want y'all to forget about us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about some news because we didn't record last week. Oh, actually, our recording date was like on the first day of D23, I think. So we would have missed all of this stuff, well, a lot of this stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead and like go through some of that stuff. A lot came out.
Yeah.
Not all of it is really worth talking about. So I kind of just picked and choose what I felt like we would care about.
Makes sense. Checks out.
So the first thing we can talk about is the Thunderbolts. So they have finally showed us the cast. And if you out there have not seen it, it consists of Ghost from Ant-Man 2.
I was like, what?
Somebody with a man at the end. One of those.
Exactly.
Spider-Man, Iron Man, Ant-Man.
Exactly.
So Ghost, Red Guardian, and Yelena from Black Widow. We already knew that Yelena was going to be in it from the post-credit scenes, so that wasn't really a surprise. I was kind of surprised that Red Guardian was going to be in it.
That was a surprise, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I knew that Ghost would come back, but I figured it would probably be in
Ant-Man.
What is
Quantumania?
Yeah, something like that, or a different TV show that she wasn't a supporting cast member.
Mm-hmm. I had
she would
completely
just kind of
forgot
pop
about
up.
her. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I kind of did too.
I just like completely forgot she existed.
I didn't do that.
Okay, so Yelena, John Walker, we pretty much knew he was going to be there. Taskmaster, which I was like, oh, okay. All right, hopefully they can fix it because everybody was like foaming at the mouth when they had her in Black Widow. Like, it's not supposed to be a girl and she sucks. So,
yeah,
that voice just reminded me of the dude from SpongeBob. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Woo, okay, so
that's awesome.
And then also, finally, drum roll, the Winter fucking Soldier.
Yes,
the White Wolf.
Big Bucky Barnes. Okay.
I'm so happy.
That's what we've called him in our own private text messages. Don't know if we've ever said that on the show.
I don't think so.
Whoops. I think I just call him BDBB.
Yes, you do. So he's gonna be in it, and I'm guessing, like, I'm wondering, like, what the vibe is gonna be. A lot of people are saying, like, the Thunderbolts are like the Suicide Squad type deal. I hope not. I just want them to be bad. Because my thing is, let the villains be bad.
Yeah.
Like, I recently watched Morbius with my husband. That movie, we can talk about that later. But the fact that they tried to, like, make Morbius a villain, I'm not a villain, like a hero kind of, we hated that. Let the bad guys be bad. So, like, if the Thunderbolts are supposed to be, like, you know, on bullshit and doing illegal stuff, you know, bald head hoe shit with their friends, that's what I want to see.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, or at least be gray.
Right. Very gray.
Because it seems like at some point, all of them have had some type of redemption. Maybe not John Walker. Maybe I'm not sure about him. But it seems like they've all had some type of redemption in their storyline. So it wouldn't make sense for them to be a villain or a hero. I want them to just be right in the middle, charcoal gray.
Yeah. And I want the movie to have a different vibe than the Suicide Squad. The second one was way better and I enjoyed it a lot, but I've seen that movie and I would like to see something different. But
for sure. And I'm like, what? Like, how would it make... It wouldn't make any sense for Marvel to be jacking DC.
Right. So I feel like that's just like the fans on the internet speculating. Kevin Feige and them not gonna do that.
Exactly.
They know better.
I was just about to say that.
Okay, so also moving away from the Thunderbolts, we got a lot of reveals for like the cast for Captain America: New World Order. The one that stood out the most to me was Tim Blake Nelson is coming back as the leader.
Yes.
And I feel like you brought this up like a couple weeks ago.
I did.
Yeah, you were like, I wonder if he's gonna come back or something like that.
Yeah.
There he is.
And look at that. Look at God.
Look at She be knowing. Look
I
at
be
the
knowing
South
some
Side.
stuff.
Look at us.
I did. And when it happened, I was like, didn't I mention this? I just talked about him.
You did. I don't remember like in what context or what episode.
Maybe was it because of She-Hulk?
Probably.
I don't remember. Y'all be remembering more than I do. But I be having people be like, you remember when you said that? I don't.
Who said
that? I be literally just talking.
Be like Candy and them on Housewives. Who said that?
Who said that?
Who said that?
No, 100%. But yeah, I be knowing things. I mean, I didn't know that he was going to be in that movie, but I did bring him up. I do remember that.
I'm wondering like if he's going to be in She-Hulk like at the end or something, and then that's how he's going to end up in this new movie. I don't know. But
that would be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Echo, the TV show, has wrapped filming, and they released a trailer at D23. Not for us regular folks, but the people there saw the trailer, and they said that the Kingpin was in it wearing an eye patch.
I did see that. Yep.
Yeah, we all knew that he wasn't dead based off the end of the episode. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then despite the fact that he is a human, he is very fucking hard to kill, if not impossible. Like,
yeah, he has like absolutely no superpowers.
Yeah.
No suit. He just an indestructible ass nigga.
Right. Somebody explain that to me, but
I respect it though.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is.
What did Tywin say to Tyrion? He was like, "You're pretty hard to kill." I respect that. He said something along those lines.
Right. So obviously like that's done. They did a trailer. It's supposed to come out soon. They have not told us a release date yet, but I'm kind of excited about that since I know like Daredevil's gonna be in it, and the Echo chick, she was cool. She wasn't bad. She was a badass. So I'm interested.
She was alright.
Yeah.
She was there. Just kidding. Just joking.
We got some news from Loki season 2. Ke Huy Quan from Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to be in that movie. I also watched that. That movie was phenomenal.
I still want to see that one.
Yeah, it's really good. My mind just completely blanked. So yeah, he's going to be in it. He's a great actor. He's really good at action sequences. So I'm hoping that, he's going to get some fight scenes or something in this movie. As far as other rumors for Loki season 2, I know you've seen it. People are talking about Henry Cavill people said Henry Cavill might be in season 2, and then there was another rumor about Henry Cavill that said he might be Dr. Doom. But the main point in the rumor is that allegedly he has been cast for something in the MCU.
Right.
I don't know. Do you believe that?
I want to believe it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is the most. I want to believe it. Out of any rumor, I feel like I really want it to be him, because I feel like he is one of those actors that would be in it for the long haul. And he wants to do it for the art. He want to do it for the nerds, because he is a handsome nerd king himself.
Yes.
So I feel like he could bring a lot to Marvel. Yeah. And I was like, I watched not Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four last week, the first one with Jessica Alba, and Dr. Doom was in that one. And I was just watching it, and I said on the last show, like, I wasn't really sure about the characterizations of the characters in that movie enough to be like, oh yeah, I guess so-and-so could play them. After watching that movie, I do think that Penn Badgley would be a good Reed Richards. Yeah. And I do think that Henry Cavill would be a really good Dr. Doom, because he's handsome as fuck, and I feel like he could easily play like a very narcissistic, like an asshole. Yeah. I see it for him.
Yeah, I want to see that. I don't know.
I would be happy regardless. Whatever part they cast him in, I'd be I'd be thankful. I shut
Yeah.
my ass up, and I just even if he was just a cam. No, I wouldn't be happy with just a cameo,
Mm-mm.
actually.
Yeah.
But no, any way that they try and plug him in,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be okay.
I feel like I've been hearing a lot of people talk about him since this, and I've seen a divide because there's also like a kind of like fan talk on TikTok about House of the Dragon, and people were saying like they wish they could see what happens before this, like all the drama, because it seemed like we've been plopped right at the beginning of the middle of some drama. But people were saying like they would love to see Henry Cavill as Aegon the Conqueror, ain't that who it is? With the sister
Mm-hmm.
wives. And
Mm-hmm.
then like some people were like, he can't act. And I was just like, what? I don't know, but he's so pretty that I don't know if I'm paying attention to his acting. I'm just
Or
looking at him.
maybe it's mostly that he be in movies that you don't really have to be like an actor. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, because we
maybe.
mostly see him in superheroes and fantasy stuff.
Yeah. Well, the
And a
one
lot of the
lady,
people,
the one that I had tagged you in, her Game of Thrones stuff, the lady with the glasses and the red lipstick, I cannot remember her ad, but she was like, she hated him as Geralt. But I guess she's like one of the people who read the books, and she's just like,
mm-hmm.
Geralt didn't act like that. He was so like stoic and stiff.
But he was really stoic and stiff in the show.
Right.
Or was she saying that he
She's
was
saying in the
stoic?
book he wasn't. That's not her characterization of the character. That she didn't think.
Well, he's also read the book, so maybe that's how he interpreted the character.
Yeah, that I feel like it's just hate. I don't know. I've watched shit and been like, ooh, this person can't act.
Mm-hmm.
Finn Jones, but I've never had those thoughts while watching Henry Cavill. So I don't know.
For sure.
But yeah, so that's that. Secret Wars dropped the trailer, and that shit.
That looked good.
That's some
That
fucking
looked
heat right
so
there.
good. Speaking
Oh,
of Targaryens, Miss Amelia Clark
yes, the mother of
is in it.
dragons.
Yes.
Yes, I'm so
I love that for
excited.
her. I just love that all the like Game of Thrones people are just like slowly trickling into the Marvel universe.
Yes, yes. It's part of like the Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings pipeline. It's just
Mm-hmm.
straight to Marvel.
Exactly, exactly. I think we talked about this before.
Hmm.
I don't know if it was on the show or just through text
I
message
think it was.
about how many people that have been in like one or two or even all three.
Hmm. Then I watched Lord of the Rings and text you about Harold Meacham actually being what you call it,
Yes,
Faramir.
Faramir.
Yeah,
I was like mind
I
blown.
was on the plane
That just
watching it
adds
like,
to it.
is that
Is that
is that
Dean
Harold
Kane?
Meacham?
Fucking Dean Kane.
Fucking Dean Kane. So yeah, I'm excited. Secret Wars looks like the Winter Soldier, like on crack.
On crack.
I just,
Yes.
you know,
And it just looks like Samuel Jackson is in his fucking
bag.
bag.
Oh,
Just in that spy
yes.
espionage. Oh, I cannot wait.
I
I
missed the Nick
cannot
Fury
wait.
so much. Like I didn't realize how
Mm-hmm.
much I missed the Nick Fury until I saw
Yeah.
him, and I was like, oh, let's fucking go. Oh,
Yes.
Don Cheadle was in it. I just,
Martin Freeman.
yeah, and like tonally, I'm loving how each show is kind of having a different tone.
They all have their own vibe. And I love that. I know that some people don't like that,
Hmm.
but a lot of the movies, the original movies had kind of the same tone.
Yeah.
Except for like the Captain America movies, they were a little bit more like serious, I guess you could say. They weren't as
Hmm.
like goofy as like say like Thor Ragnarok.
Hmm.
So in that aspect, like you had like the boots on the ground spy espionage stuff, and then you had the
Hmm.
mystical stuff and the alien stuff. So
Hmm.
it's like in that way it was all different, but now it's like literally like the look of these movies are completely, or movies and TV shows are completely different.
Right.
And
It's
I
so
fucking love
good.
it. I love it.
Hold on. What?
Can I make myself some popcorn?
Didn't you just eat breakfast?
Yeah, but it's so heavy.
Go ahead and stop knocking on this door.
What?
Go ahead and stop knocking on my door. Making some popcorn at 9:30 in the morning. Anyway.
These kids.
Yep. Okay. So also, Werewolf by Night dropped a trailer. Did you see that one? I think it's just gonna be like a Halloween like one-off thing. It looks like a very like campy like horror movie. I think it's in black and white. It looked
That's
cute.
cool.
I don't know anything about it. The people who read the comic books are excited, so I'm gonna watch it because I love scary shit. But that happened.
That happened.
Apparently at D23 they released a teaser trailer for the Marvels, and it was like just a short look at the dynamic of like how they interact with each other. That has not been released to us, but apparently people was talking about it. Speaking of rumors and things, so our good sis Keke Palmer expressed interest in wanting to be in a superhero movie, and then TikTok cast her as Rogue from the X-Men.
Yes.
And as an X-Men stan and somebody who loved fucking Rogue and Storm, yes. Let's fucking go. I think that she would be perfect. And, you know, all the racists were up in arms on the internet because they're like, she's black. Oh my God, Rogue is supposed to be a white girl. But they had a white girl play her, Anna Paquin. That was terrible. Y'all had a white girl do it. Let somebody else try, first of all. But it really wasn't even Anna Paquin's fault. I think they just wrote that character completely wrong because Rogue is not quiet. Rogue is not like shy and all about boys. Rogue can pick up a truck and throw it into somebody's house. She was sassy. She was a Southern belle. She had an attitude. She was literally that girl. So
she was Keke Palmer.
She was Keke Palmer. I feel like Keke could do it. So, I mean, I feel like the only thing is, as long as she can get the accent, I feel like she's good because she was.
Have you not seen her Southern Belle videos?
No, but I mean, Keke is so fucking talented. Like, I'm sure she just has that. She has Southern Belle.
I mean, she's made like funny videos with like a Southern accent. And obviously it was just for like comedy purposes and stuff. But I for sure think that like if she was taking it seriously, she from Chicago. We already got a little bit of a twang. Like
Robin, stand up.
Exactly.
Harvey World.
Hold on, Robin's ain't shit.
It ain't, but that's how I know she a real one.
Exactly. She done made it out that jam. Keke always got a job, Palmer.
She made it out the fucking bud. Because I'll drive through Robin sometimes as a grown adult like, oh, fuck.
Oh, clutch my pearls.
It's rough. It
is quite rough.
Yeah, to my house that's 15 minutes away.
Exactly. And it's look dirty, all that. It's rough.
But
she from a rough part of town.
Yeah.
And she made it out.
Yeah.
And
she deserves all the things. Just give her everything.
And even if it's not Rogue, I think that she would be an awesome addition.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about two things that's kind of connected a little bit. Okay. So that's the end of the D23 stuff. Netflix announced that they are going to move away from binging and they're going to just start releasing things like episodes weekly with their new content. And
you said Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I found that really interesting, and people were like comparing this run of like Rings of Power and House of the Dragon to Stranger Things, and even like the Disney Plus shows that are coming out weekly. And they're like, you know, people are still talking about this, but they talked about Stranger Things, I guess, for like a week or two. And then that was it, because they dropped, I think, half of the season one month. And then the next month they dropped the other half of the season. Yeah. And people just binged it. And so I want to ask, so I just wanted to mention that. We don't really have to talk about it. It's not much to talk about. But I want to lead that into our discussion topic for the week. So I was scrolling TikTok, and I noticed that people were talking about Rings of Power, and I have not watched it.
I haven't watched it yet either.
I was going to ask you, did we make a choice? Are you either a House of the Dragon person or are you a Rings of Power person? Is that really a thing? Because I feel like it is.
I think it kind of is.
That's crazy how that happened.
And the crazy part is like I was so excited for both. Mm-hmm. Had they been released completely separately, not at the same time, like in the same like running period or whatever, I would 100% devote a day to watch Rings of Power and devote a day to watch House of the Dragon. But it just so happened that first of all, before I finish my statement, let me just say
Go
that
ahead.
Game of Thrones always came out in April.
Oh, did it?
Yes. All of the episodes, except for the last season, I want to say, Game of Thrones always came out in April or May. They're like early, like late spring. Yeah, like late springish. They just was being petty because I'm pretty sure the show was already done. I'm not sure, but I think they was just being petty and they wanted to take viewership away from Rings of Power. So they dropped it.
Well, it fucking worked.
It did. It really did. Even like, you know, the podcast that I listen to that it's like a Game of Thrones podcast, they're also Lord of the Rings fans. And they're like, one of them was like, I watched it. It's all right. It's not all that great. But then the other one's like, I haven't even watched it yet.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I really think that they cut Rings of Power off at the knees a little bit, which sucks because like the nerds were really excited for it.
Yeah, I am going to watch it.
I am going to watch it, but I will probably end up having to binge it after House of the Dragon is done. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, with the weekly releases, that's not going to be for another 5 weeks.
Yeah, because I thought about watching it because on my work trip, usually when I'm away from the kids and stuff, I use that time to watch TV, especially when I'm on a 4-hour flight. Right. And so I was gonna like download the episodes, but then I saw that I think Amazon always does like 3 initial episodes and then weekly after that. And I don't know, like I was just like I don't have 3 episodes time right now. I don't know.
I definitely would have to like set time apart. I'm already watching House of the Dragon. Then we watching She-Hulk. Then we got to watch the episodes, you know, the regular 3 to 4 episodes a week for the show. Who got the time?
Yeah. And then, it's crazy that I said like, oh, I don't have the time to watch the Rings of Power. And then I watched The Lord of the Rings on that phone.
Right. But in your defense, is it really watching it if you've seen it a million times?
True.
You don't have to get used to like different characters. You don't have to like learn a whole, not that it's a whole new world, but you don't have to learn the new characters. You don't have to learn the conflicts that's going on. It's way easier to hop into a story that you already know what's happening than hopping into something completely different.
Yeah.
But I do think not even I feel like Game of Thrones fans and Lord of the Rings fans are all one and the same. But for some reason I do think that for whatever reason right now you're either watching House of the Dragon every week and that is your priority and Rings of Power is on the back burner, or it's the opposite.
Yeah. I feel like the people who have an issue with incest probably chose the Rings of Power first.
And also, I haven't watched Rings of Power yet, like I said. But one thing that I do know about Lord of the Rings is it's not very bloody or gory. It's almost a little bit more family friendly.
Yeah, from what I remember, yeah.
It's not like Game of Thrones is 100% like adult content. You cannot watch that with your kids. You know, I don't know. It's a completely different vibe. It's way darker. It's way more complex. I guess it's probably not even more complex. The story of Rings of Power might be more complex, but the subject matter and the visuals of it is probably a little bit more kid friendly. So people that don't really like that rated R type of content, hard R, yes, they're probably gravitating more towards Rings of Power.
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I agree for the most part. Yeah, I agree. And even as somebody who, can you hear that? Why is she blowing me up? It's my mom. My phone is on Do Not Disturb, so she's really blowing me up. Hold on. Text her. Oh my God. She's the only person who calls me while I'm recording. Anyway, so as a person who was a fan of the Lord of the Rings first, I'm kind of surprised at myself because you had to get me into Game of Thrones, and I had to try to watch that. Sorry, y'all.
And you got me into Lord of the Rings, and I'm pretty sure you can probably hear my boyfriend downstairs playing video games.
Sorry, y'all. Anyway, so I'm surprised at myself that I chose to watch the House of the Dragon first, but I don't know. It's something about the not the Lord of the Rings. It's something about Westeros. It's something about
it. It's so complex and compelling.
And the shit is so good. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about. It's not that good. People was complaining. What are y'all watching?
That's what I'm saying. And you know what? What I think is, and I've also might have said this on the show too, I think that Game of Thrones fans have the same issues as Marvel fans. They don't know how to just take what is given to you and enjoying it. It always has to be compared. You know, Marvel fans compare everything to phase 1 through 3. Game of Thrones fans always compares things to OG Game of Thrones, or at least the first 100% the first 1 through seasons 1 through 6. They always compare it, and I'm like, I know several people that had to watch Game of Thrones, including myself, and I'm a fucking stan. I am a Westeros freaking expert.
Yeah.
Me and my boyfriend take a 20-minute walk to walk the dog in the mornings, and I spent 20 minutes telling him about the history of Westeros.
Just the whole Song of Fire and Ice.
In fucking detail. So it's just like, I know this shit.
Right.
But it's just like, you know, people take the first like 1 through 6 seasons or whatever, and they really just say, oh, well, nothing is ever going to be better than season 1 or episode, you know, the pilot of season 1. And it's just like, it wasn't that great to me.
It wasn't. I had to watch that first episode like 3 times.
I did. I
couldn't get into it.
It took me at least 2 or 3 times to watch the first 2 or 3 episodes. I fell asleep one time. Like, I was interested, but I wasn't interested enough to keep going.
Yeah, and it was overwhelming too. They introduced a lot of new characters. You wasn't familiar with the world. I feel like House of the Dragon is way easier to get into.
It is.
Yeah.
And people say like you're dropped in the middle of some drama. Not nearly as much drama and conflict as in Game of Thrones, where there was literally in House of Dragons there hasn't been a war in decades. In Game of Thrones it was like 10 15 years prior or 17 years prior to the events of Game of Thrones, so it's still a lot of conflict with that. And then, you know, you don't know why so-and-so don't like so-and-so. You like, what? Why are they beefing? Like,
it was so much fucking drama.
It was so much. You literally, the first episode, they like, oh, so-and-so died and King is coming up here to ask you to be the hand of the king. Like, who the fuck was that guy?
Right.
Why are they best friends? They live on 2 completely opposite ends of the continent. How they best friends? Like, you don't know what the fuck is happening. At least in House of Dragons, you like walk in and you like, okay, they don't like that nigga because he kind of crazy. And there's a secession issue, period. That's literally it. That's literally it. But I don't remember what the original question was, but that was my answer.
I was just like, did we subconsciously make a choice? And I also wanted to know, like, do you feel like binging and like weekly releases affected how we are consuming these 2 shows?
I think that when you have weekly releases, you are controlling the pace of which everybody is consuming everything. You know what I mean? Like, because some people, you know, can't watch a whole 10 episode season in one weekend. Yeah. So, you know, they're getting stories like spoiled for them. It's memes out. I love getting the weekly you know, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's like sharing the same memes about the one episode.
Yes.
You know, there's theories, there's like, it's so much, it's more of a community than if people just watch it on their own time, or if they get to it at all. And then it's more of
for busier people too. Like, I can't always, like, even if I'm just 1 episode behind or like 1 week behind, I feel like it's easier to avoid spoilers and give myself time to catch up, versus if a whole season is dropped and you can't watch it in the first weekend, you're gonna get spoiled on something by the end of the week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So to me, and a lot of people would rather just wait for a whole season to end and then consume it all at one time because they're just content gluttons.
Yeah.
But me, I'm like, I want to savor it. Especially if I really like a show, I don't want okay, so like Pretty Little Liars, they did like the first 2 or 3 episodes, then it was 2 episodes at a time, and then they did the last 3 at once, which was different, and that was HBO Max, but that was kind of different. But like, even with that, I was just like, I wish that it was just like a little bit more spread out, because it's like when I'm enjoying something, I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
And if I really like it, I'm gonna burn through those episodes. So I would rather somebody else do some portion control for me.
Yeah. I feel like I like a mix, because stuff like House of the Dragon, all of the Marvel stuff, I do prefer to watch that week to week, because I feel like there's so much going on with the fandom that it's easier. But like shows that don't have a huge fandom like that, like Bridgerton, I liked that I can binge it all at once.
Right.
Now, I hate that I watch it all in a week and then I have to wait a year to see more episodes, because I can't have portion control. But I like that it's some shows that come out weekly and it's some shows that you can binge. Like if it's some new random show that nobody has heard of, I feel like binging is okay.
Right. But these shows, like you said, with the fandom and everything, and you know that it's going to be people talking about it for, the week or whatever into the next episode, it's better for it to be weekly.
Okay, so we are starting a new TV show called The Defenders. So I did a little bit of research, and here it goes.
Here we go.
So this is the show that everything has been leading towards. It was released in August 2017 and had the same showrunners as Daredevil season 2. A lot of the same people who worked to create Daredevil also worked on this show, and then they, had conversations with the other showrunners from the other shows to make sure that those character arcs and stuff made sense. It's only 8 episodes in comparison to all the other shows that have been 13. So next week we'll be done.
Dang.
Right. So when choosing the villain,
I'm glad I didn't start early then, because I was going to start watching it this past week.
And then you
and I was
done.
like, I'm gonna just wait.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was gonna be 8. I think I realized that when I was like trying to break them up for us to record, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
So when they were like discussing or planning out these shows, they picked the villain, I guess, way before they even like did the first season of Daredevil. I think they wanted to pick something that was separate from like aliens or anything, because they wanted to distance themselves from the Avengers. Right. So instead they focused on the hand, and their idea was that each person would have encounters with it, and then it will all lead them to the same place, which that's what happened. Regarding where the miniseries leaves the Defenders, the showrunner says they're comparing it to people who were on the same bus and got into an accident. It's kind of like this adventure that I have with you, and if I see you after this, cool. If I don't, even better. Right. So that's pretty much how it is, and I think that it's just interesting that I feel like the Defenders are like actual co-workers, when the Avengers are kind of like seen as a family when they are and co-workers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a note about that, but I'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all the little background that I got. Did you do any background for the Defenders?
I looked it up, but it wasn't really pertaining to the show, so I didn't really.
Okay. It was different people. Okay. So basically the first, episode really is just basically like where they all left off. So at the end of season 2, Matt Murdock pretty much lost all his fucking friends. He told Karen that he was Daredevil. Foggy decided that he didn't want to be in Nelson and Murdock no more, and he went and worked with Jerry Hogarth at her place. Elektra, aka the Black Sky, was dead, but we saw them like put her into that little tomb thing, so we knew she was gonna come back or whatever.
Come back, right?
Jessica Jones had kind of got her life back together after Kilgrave. She killed him. Hogarth helped her clear her name, and then she is just trying to go back to what she was doing before, basically. Last time we saw Luke Cage, he was sent off to jail to serve out the rest of his sentence for escaping jail, and so that's where he has been this whole time. And then most recently, we saw Danny Rand trying to defeat the Iron Hand.
Scooby do some shit.
Scooby doing shit and walking around with
getting his ass beat.
Being the Iron Fist, whatever that means.
Right.
So, episode 1 is where are they now? I just want to say that it was just really fucking refreshing to see everybody again. I think I might have been most happy to see Luke Cage get out the clink. So I was really happy.
Oddly, I think I was so happy to see Foggy.
Foggy with his little haircut and his big boy
and
job.
It's also, yes, with his slick bag.
Yes.
I was like, okay, Foggy, and he getting some punani every night from Marcy. He really came up.
He did. He had a glow up, definitely.
He did.
Karen, she kind of had a glow up too.
She did.
She walked around with her little reporter outfit on.
I know.
It was a little heavy-handed with the button up and the sweater on top, but
with the sweater, yeah.
But she looked happy, and I was surprised to see her and Matt have this little lunch date thing.
Yeah.
It was very, very much like we exes, but we still trying to like kind of be cool.
Figure out where we are.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I got from it too. They're like, well, let's see where we are when the dust settles and all that type of stuff. And it does come out that Matt isn't daredeviling anymore. He is no longer the devil of Hell's Kitchen. And I think it was like one part when they were, I think it was when they were in the diner together. And I think Karen like felt like a fool because she knows all of the things that Matt can do at this point. And she sees how other people kind of treat him, and she probably realizes that she treated him the same way, like he's a blind person, but now she knows that he is completely able-bodied, and she's probably just like, you really had everybody fooled.
Yeah, especially her, I feel like. And I think we had brought this up when we were watching like the first season of Daredevil. She, even like compared to Foggy, she was really the only one that was just like, oh, it's the door right there. Oh,
yeah,
he's wearing a red shirt.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly. exactly. And so, I don't know. I wonder if that's kind of like another reason why she's just kind of hesitant. It's just like, damn nigga, you just really lied. Like, you just lied about like little things.
Everything. Talking about something, you ran into a door and you can hear my eyeballs moving. Like, what the fuck? Really? I would feel dumb too. Even though it's not her fault, but still.
Because he was coming into work beat the fuck up every single day.
Right.
Oh, I fell. I ran into a door. I'm just a clumsy blind person.
Right. Oh, no.
Man.
But yeah, when he was telling her like, yeah, I'm not doing a Daredevil, I was like, are you trying to convince Karen or yourself? Because
yes,
that's just still in you, dude.
Obviously, very much so.
And it took like what? I feel like at the end of this episode or the next one, he was doing parkour all over again. So it was just like, why even?
And it did not take very much.
Right.
It didn't even take that much.
And it's crazy because like I feel like if they would just communicate, like I feel like we've been saying this ever since we met Karen Page. If y'all would just talk to each other, because I honestly don't think that she would have an issue with him being Daredevil.
She ain't have an issue with Frank, and he was actually killing people.
He was killing people, and she was just like, I can save him, like he was a fucking pit bull or something. Like,
no, for real. She's definitely the type that he's a rescue.
Right. White women and pit bulls, boy. Like,
be careful now.
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Anyway, no, actually, it's not even that offensive. Prince was like, if you get a pit bull and a white woman break into your house, your pit bull gonna fold. Like, he was like, that's not even your dog no more. She finna leave with your dog and all your shit.
Where did this stereotype come from?
I don't. It's that like it's a. You know how white people are with dogs, but we was talking about something. I think. Oh, we were. This is a tangent, y'all. We were talking about dogs because he was talking about his friend, and he was like, "Oh, y'all want a pit?" And Prince was like, pits are really lovable. Like, it's a stereotype that they are so bad. And then we just went on another tangent, and he started telling me this story about, like, a dog love a white woman, especially a pit bull. And I was like, it is a show called Pit Bulls and Parolees. And it's a white woman with a whole farm of rescue pit bulls. And she hires, like, inmates, like recently released inmates to work on her thing. So I was like, you might have something, because I used to watch that
you
show.
might be on to something.
Right.
I had never heard of that.
I think it's like a TLC show or something. I used to watch Pit Bulls and Parolees. I don't know why, but
you and them shows, the shows that them TLC shows got you in a chokehold.
I watch the most random shit sometimes. I don't know, but anyway. Yes, Karen, I feel like he should just go ahead and tell her the truth. Like, you want to do the Daredevil stuff. She's not even scared. Like, she would probably find the shit interesting. She'll be trying to write stories on your ass. So
exactly, it would basically be like a what is it? The Daily Bugle or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be that. So she'd just be like, well, just let me know what you're doing so I can get a picture of it.
Yes, very much so that.
And write a story. Like, just give me something that, like, some job security, basically.
I feel like it would be a fucking cross between, if this show was a comedy, maybe a cross between Peter Parker and Carrie Bradshaw. She'd be like, my night with the Daredevil, the Devil of Hell's Kitchen.
Exactly.
Oh, actually, that's kind of funny. I would like somebody to turn that into like a series on TikTok.
If a man can't see, can he be blind to love?
You should do it. That's so fucking funny. I don't know if I tagged you in this TikTok, and it was like people who were like, what TikTok would be like in the MCU.
Yes,
that shit was so funny. Oh my god,
that was really funny.
That was hilarious.
That was really funny.
I'm gonna try to, if I remember, I'm gonna share it on the Instagram story so y'all can see it.
Right.
Okay, so I think we went through everybody except for Danny Rand and Colleen. So they've been running around doing ninja shit in other countries.
Yeah.
Fighting the Hand still. On his private jet, just zoop, 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 the Hand's here, let's go. Like fucking Dora the Explorer. Finn Jones still can't act worth a damn. I don't know if it's worse.
I feel like it's gotten worse.
Is it? Okay, because I was like, I don't know if it was always this bad or if it's getting worse. But I feel like every line is so like over-delivered and weird. Yeah. And then he just frustrates me so bad. Like, I feel like it was when he met Luke. And he's just like, I'm the Iron Fist, and start talking about like ninjas and shit. Like, what?
You have to like break it down to people in the real world.
At this point, like, you done tried to tell Ward this shit. You done tried to tell Joy this shit. You done told Colleen and Claire. After a while, they believed you, but initially, like, you have all these initial reactions. Jerry Hogarth herself said, stop talking about that shit. So why are you still walking around to regular grown-ass people talking about, yes, the Hand and a dragon and Kunlun?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have to kind of preface it like, I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Or, like, I don't know, but, like, the way that he delivers the way that he delivers information is like he's in a cult and he's like in a doomsday cult, basically.
Or like he's my 3-year-old. This is how Yara tells me stories. And I'm just like, I feel like we are past, like, we had a whole season. I don't know the timeline of the first season of Iron Fist, but I feel like all of that stuff had to take place at least over the course of 3 weeks. And this probably happened.
I would say about a month and a half.
Right. And I don't think
not even that long.
Yeah. And I don't even think like this show is immediately after the events of Iron Fist. I feel like maybe it was another month or whatever. So you've been back in the world for a couple months now. You got a whole girlfriend. She not training you, socializing you. I don't.
Well, she was raised in a cult too.
She was. But at least her cult was in society. Like, she wasn't in, like, another realm.
That's true. That is also very true.
I just,
he probably wasn't even on Earth. honestly.
Yeah. So that's I don't know. I feel like that's a writing issue maybe. I feel like they could have, like, at least for the defenders, they could have given him a little bit more maturity, a little bit more common sense. Like, I know the shit is real
Because he's
to you,
even
but...
like the scene when it was all of them in the Chinese restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It still seemed very. He still seemed so childish.
Yes, and Matt told him to grow up.
Yeah,
and I was like, you fucking tell him, Matt.
Exactly. I mean, Matt needs some growing up too, but and I feel like they kind of had similar upbringings.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I literally just thought of it.
Huh.
They both were orphans at a very young age, at around 10 years old, and then they were brought in by people that wanted to fight the hand.
Yeah, and they were raised and trained to fight the hand.
And then it was just at one point Matt diverted from it and got to live. Maybe that's the only difference, is that he got to actually like go through life. But the thing is like, I feel like maybe not, because he actually went to college and law school and everything like that. So maybe he is like him diverting from like all that shit happened sooner than Danny. But still, like, I mean, they still had a similar upbringing, and maybe it's the fact that Matt grew up with a real ass daddy or something. I don't really know what.
I agree with that. I feel like
difference is
him growing up.
He grew up in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
He grew up with a real ass daddy.
Yeah, and
like basically in the streets. And then Danny had this super sheltered life because he was super fucking rich. Then he was orphaned, and then he lived an even more sheltered life in the cult. So I don't know.
You know what another issue is? He don't have a best friend.
He doesn't. Well, he did, but his best friend's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I don't even think that's really his best friend. I think that's
they was just the two youngest kids.
Yeah, I think that's what that was.
It was just a proximity thing.
Yeah, I feel like you fare better when you have a best friend. So
that you chose,
right? Right. Okay, so Sigourney Weaver is in this.
I was like, what?
Like Ripley? Ripley is the bad guy? Oh, cool.
I was so surprised to see her walk onto the screen. And then, at first I think I was like, oh, the hand is gonna come and make a offer that she can't refuse, because they were talking about her resources, and even though she has all these resources and stuff, she's still gonna die. And I was like that's probably what they did to Harold and everything, because we know that the hand is everywhere. And I was like, oh wait, she must be in charge.
Oh yeah, she has to be in charge. When I saw her, I was like, oh, this is kind of like when Anthony Hopkins was Odin. Like, oh, y'all pulling out the big guns now.
Exactly. I know, for these little Netflix shows, I'm like, okay.
The budget was budgeting. Okay.
No, for real. And she's just like, and I just believe her. And it was, where is it? I was like,
when she had that little fight scene, she didn't do too much, but what she did, I was like, oh, okay.
That too.
She old, but she ain't no hoe. She got you.
Right? I don't know where. Oh, I put Alexandra as everything I would want to be if I was immortal. Because she just looks so fabulous. Yeah. And she's just like going to restaurants and eating food that she's just like,
yes,
oh, it was just as good as I had it in Constantinople. And they're like, oh, I think you mean Turkey. And she's just like, no, bitch.
Right. I feel like this has Sprite is gonna be when she grow up.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to talk about this, but it was a random thought that I had during that scene. And I was like, wait, that must really suck. I've never thought about this aspect of immortality, that you can have some probably some bomb ass food in the 15th century or the 17th century or whatever, and everything was supernatural. Everything, the chickens probably wasn't as big, but they was probably good as shit, and everything was just so pure. And then it's and now you live in America, in the 21st century.
Yeah.
And everything is just like fake and artificial.
GMO, red dye number 40.
Exactly. That's probably why she dying. If we being completely honest.
You might be onto something right there.
I honestly just thought of it.
She ate too many zebra cakes. So she's like, oh.
It was something. She was just like, oh, I like McDonald's.
Right.
And now she dying.
I got diabetes. What the fuck is that?
Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? And then I was like, imagine living before modern technology and the air was just fresh and there weren't as many humans.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't think I've ever thought of immortality being shitty. But like, if you really think about the fact, like, if you've been around
Mm-hmm.
since, let's just say you've been around since like
The 1600s. I don't know.
AD.
Okay, even farther.
Yeah, I know I went super far. But like, just imagine you've been around for so long and you just see the world developing and you just see it get worse and worse. And I mean,
That
even
has
as
to
a
be
villain,
depression.
even as a villain, like that must be fucking shitty.
Yeah.
Like the food probably isn't as good. The people aren't as cool. Like you start fucking suffocating because you can't even breathe anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you're like, oh, like this is a nice clear sky, and then now it's like pollution.
And now you live in New York.
Exactly. And it's just, I don't know. I have never thought about that aspect of like immortality until that scene. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to live forever.
No. I feel like it would be incredibly boring too. I don't know.
Yeah.
After a while. I mean,
I would probably end up being like Cersei from in Eternals, where she was just like always connected to her phone.
yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, this woman was basically like Sprite all grown up because she was just like, I'm fucking over it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
She's like, let me die.
She probably had some good times on me because she was a white woman. And so at any point in history, that's fucking great. So you have that.
She was living, I'm sure she was living fucking life.
Yeah.
She was up in Babylon. Get money.
Throwing ass in Babylon.
Exactly.
I forgot to mention Claire and Luke's reunion.
Girl,
Mama said on site. For real.
That was like literally the definition.
Yeah.
I was like, what did I say? Yeah, I said they on site fuck with her legs on his shoulders, and I was like, that was my move. He had her folded up like some origami on the kitchen table and didn't break it.
Our listeners just learn so much about us each week.
Every single week.
I love that for them, and I loved even more when he's just telling her like, yeah, I got into a fight with this dude, and she like, let me call Claire.
Damn it,
let me call Clean. That shit was so fucking funny. Like,
it really was.
He was like, this the dude you was telling me about in them fucking letters. Are you kidding me right now?
Exactly. This little nigga.
Mm-hmm. That little conversation that they had was so interesting when he's just like, well, after they fight, which was funny. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of irritated that Danny punched Luke with the iron fist and it actually worked, even though it makes sense that it worked because
what we saw. It's mystical.
Yeah. And then also, fucking, what's his name? I can't even think the villain from Luke Cage. What was his brother? Stryker. Mm-hmm. When he was punching him with that damn Justin Hammer suit on, it was doing something. So I was just like, okay.
Yeah, true.
It still irritated me though. But when they were talking,
but it's both technically like alien tech.
Yeah.
Nothing from Earth could hurt him.
Probably not. I think.
Because he wasn't made from, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Ignore that. Redact that.
Yeah.
So when they were talking, and granted, I don't remember the whole thing or whatever, like when they were in the dojo and they were talking, and I just remember like Luke was saying like, you know, we have completely different experiences, and he's just like, I'm trying to help the people of Harlem, I'm trying to help these like poor kids, and he's just like, you rich, you can do so fucking much, but you running around punching people in the shadows, like we not the same.
Exactly.
We're not the same. And I felt like I was really proud that he actually like caught that to attention. And Danny, he did internalize it and try to go about things the other way. But it's like, you got Batman money. And at least like Batman, he go out at nighttime, but he still be like buying buildings and like using
and doing
his
charity.
right, using his influence to like help people in the daytime too. And like Danny is just very just one
track
about
minded.
yeah. And like that's not the way to do it. Like I don't know. I feel like all of the heroes that we see that have that kind of money also do those types of things. Like even Iron Man, like he's super rich, but once he saw like his weapons were doing more harm than good, he said, okay, I'm just not gonna do that anymore. We're gonna move into a different direction. And then he did, you know, have all those foundations and all of these like outreach programs that he
and scholarships,
right, that he uses money for. So I'm just like, yeah, Danny,
you can do that too.
Grow the fuck up. Again,
exactly.
Grow up and help people.
Exactly.
So yeah, I was really happy that they included that in the show.
Okay, so at one point there is this huge earthquake, allegedly, an alleged earthquake all over New York, and it was a very interesting conversation on Trisha's website. Oh, not her website, her podcast? Radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Radio show. Oh, that's old. People still do that.
It's a very vintage sentence you just said.
I know, right? No one knows what you're talking about, you idiot.
We'd all go play Jack down at the soda fountain. I feel like that's like our third John Mulaney reference this episode.
How many are we going to do?
Yeah.
The limit does not exist. That was my second Mean Girls reference.
Oh my God.
Okay. Back to the show.
Honestly, I think we need to do that episode that's like our watch list, the movies and TV shows that define our friendship, so that people can understand. Yes. And we have to make sure we put all that stuff on there because we constantly reference like John Mulaney, Ocean's 12, Mean Girls, all that stuff. But okay, say what you was gonna say.
The list goes on. But okay, so a caller called in. That was redundant, but they called in and they were talking about how whatever that was, it was not an earthquake because they were like, earthquakes start 50 miles deep and that one only was 300 feet deep. And then her line goes dead and I'm like, dang, the hand cut that shit off quick.
Man,
and then
the hand is like the fucking Illuminati out here.
No, for real, exactly. And then, no, honestly,
yeah.
And then it was a caller before her that were like, they were scared because they don't know if it was terrorism or the incident. And I was just like, that is very interesting because I don't think I've ever thought about 9/11 and like happening in that universe. Because this is obviously Universe 616.
Right.
This is their world. This isn't our world.
Yeah.
So obviously they're in New York. So some type of terrorist event had to have happened in New York. And so they've been going through it. They
so
is traumatized.
I wrote that down. Like first aliens and now this random ass earthquake in New York. Of course they talk about conspiracy theories because what the hell?
Exactly. And so I was like, I've never thought of, because there's never been any mention, I don't think, of any type of like terrorism.
No.
In Marvel.
No, I don't think
this might be the first time. And so and obviously all of this is canon now. So I was like, that's very interesting because I've never thought about, that happening in this world.
Wow. Oh, that's fucking sad. I mean, I wouldn't want to move to New York just in general, but if after that whole alien shit, I don't see how nobody even lived it. I would be on a fucking farm somewhere.
I was just gonna say I'd be in Idaho.
Man, you couldn't pay me to live in none of the major cities in the MCU. Hell no.
Facts.
I don't know what I don't know what I was talking about or what I was looking at when I wrote this, but I said, boy, Matt will beat the dog shit out of Danny Rand. I don't know what.
I said the same thing.
I wish I could remember what scene made me write that down.
Was it at the beginning of episode 2 that you wrote that?
Yeah.
because that's my first note of episode 2.
What happened?
What I think it was when it was like at the very end of episode 1 was the earthquake,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the very beginning of episode 2, Matt was just running around because I think somebody was getting robbed because people were like looting or something,
Mm-hmm.
and so he went to go help them, and
Mhm.
like the dudes had guns,
Yeah.
and he beat they ass.
Yes. Real quick.
And I was like, I miss seeing Maddie M in action. Shit Fist don't have nothing on Maddie M.
That probably was the same scene. I'm mad we made the
It
same
had
note.
to have been because we put it. That was literally my first note of episode 2.
Man, like the way he be fighting, like I'm sorry, I have not seen the Iron Fist do nothing like that.
He came.
I don't think he could. I think that's why I was mad with that fight with him and Luke Cage, because obviously I like Luke Cage more. I wanted him to win, but if you're like a kung fu master, Luke Cage don't have hands. He can brawl and he's super strong.
Exactly.
He's not a skilled fighter.
He's like he's a street fighter.
Right. So that's why I was just.
But he's not like a trained. Like a street fighter cannot be a trained kung fu master.
Right. And then
that should not be able to happen.
And then he's also like with the unbreakable skin. I don't know. I'm just never impressed. I don't even know if it makes sense to compare the Luke Cage to like how it would be with him fighting Daredevil. It probably don't. So forgive me, y'all. The men are probably like yelling at me like, "Oh, this bitch is an idiot." But that still don't change the fact that without them ever have being, on opposing sides of a fight, my money is on the Devil of Hell's Kitchen every time.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I don't know, once his fucking fingers start glowing and sparkling and shit, Matt could probably hear
Just dodge it. Just
exactly.
Gonna hit the Matrix and he will be just fine.
And the thing is, it's like Danny should be able to beat Matt.
Right.
But it ain't happening. So.
Right. I don't know.
In the way that they have portrayed Iron Fist, it is not happening.
Yeah. So, okay, what do we want to talk about next? Because I feel like we haven't really talked about episode 3 and 4 too much yet.
Yeah.
A lot of this. Oh, this is where the conversation with him and Luke happened. Because Luke called Danny selfish and all of that shit. I think this is when they actually they met, and then I want to just say that I'm not tired of shitting on Danny Rand. I hope that y'all are not tired of hearing it, but here I go again. So when he decided that he was gonna like put on the suit and like go confront the hand, well, that shit was so fucking embarrassing, G. Like
it was. I do want to go back to what you were just, because I found my note about him and Danny talking, him and Luke talking, but he's so stupid.
Yes, and it just. I was laughing because I was like, this kind of feels like an SNL skit. Like them making fun of heroes. Because you just go to the hand. All of the important players are sitting at the table. You right in front of Alexandria. And you're just like giving a speech. I'm going to defeat the hand no matter what. And she said, well, we right here.
Exactly. What you gonna do?
And it's just like.
Space and opportunity, baby.
Right. Like she pulled your card. And he had nothing. Oh, I was just like, oh, this is just...
And my thing, he has no subtlety.
No.
He lays all his cards on the table all at once instead of trying to play it cool or something, come up with some type of plan. He always lets everybody know what his hand is every single time.
And his hand always be so fucking simple. Like, I really, truly don't believe that he understands, like, what the hand actually is. I feel like his understanding of it is just basically what he got when he was indoctrinated at Kunlun. It's just like the hand is an evil organization and you have to defeat them somehow. Yeah. No other details.
I feel like Matt might have more of a in-depth knowledge of what the hand is because of Stick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he was raised in the real world.
Yeah. And then he's actually seen like the big ass hole in the ground. He didn't see Nobu come back from the dead.
And the green grass grows all around.
All of that. Like he's actually seen it. He knows like, okay, they have power and influence. He did that little like those missions with Elektra before she died. So I feel like he has like a better grasp, and that's why he was like trying to warn them, like,
And
this
he
shit
knows
way
how
deeper.
deep it goes.
Right? He's like, this is way deeper. Like, I feel like Danny really thinks like, I'm gonna just go to a room. It's gonna be a person that I'm gonna fight, and after I beat them,
and it'll be done.
the hand will be defeated.
But like you said, it's like the Illuminati.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the government. They're in the hospitals. They're probably educators.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking teach kung fu,
Yeah.
and they're trying to groom kids for that too. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, and I feel like that's also like a part of her trying to find like who's the best in the class, so that she can send them to the hand,
Mm-hmm.
basically, so that they can have the best fighters and everything.
Exactly.
They probably got multiple people like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, people that you think are just like community leaders and stuff, that's actually like, they in there deep.
Yeah. That's
and they like that. That's the and Danny obviously doesn't realize that, even though he spent all this time with Colleen, she still hasn't told him this shit.
Yeah, because she went to the doctor, like the hospital. I think that was in Iron Fist.
Yeah,
and like she knew the doctor, like the she in the hand. Like, how do he like have? Are they not having these conversations? And I think this makes it way more like ridiculous. Because he's always just going to people telling them like, I'm gonna defeat the hand, I'm the Iron Fist. He don't actually tell them like, these people are in positions of power. They are like the fucking KKK. Like, you don't know who they are. They're everywhere. They're making these decisions. We need to figure it out. We need to do a little bit more investigating. I also think that's maybe the point. Like, he needs other people on his team
for sure
to help him.
I was just about to say that he needs some counselors, some advisors.
Yeah.
But I did want to go back to that conversation between Luke and Danny, because I put that like Luke is basically like, you're just trying, because he was trying to help a kid from Harlem that got employed somehow by the hand, and got caught up, and now he's in jail. Well, he got killed in jail, and I feel sorry for his mama because that was sad.
Yeah.
So he's like, you're trying to get a kid that was just trying to make some money. Basically, he could have been on the corner. He ain't want to sell drugs, so he's just like, I'll just go clean up some shit. Basically, he's like, he's just trying to make some money, but you got him put in jail, all over a side hustle. But like, Luke doesn't understand like the bigger picture, but also like Danny doesn't understand that not everybody that works for the hand knows that they're working for the hand. They just know that they're working for some bad people. And if you black and you living in the hood, what's the difference between you working for a drug dealer and you working for somebody else that seems powerful too? You know what I mean? Like, he probably didn't even understand the difference. And like, Danny is like, no, he's bad because he's working for the hand, even though he's just doing the grunt work. Yeah, basically. And I don't know. I think that they both have a little bit more understanding that they need to do on both ends. Like, Luke needs to understand, like, okay, it goes bigger than just this little boy in jail. And Danny needs to understand that not everybody that's like getting paid to do this stuff is a part of the organization or
even knows anything. Like, we've seen in a lot of movies, like Iron Man 3, he's just like, I just work for them people.
I just work
and
here.
They fucking weird
and
anyway.
They weird. Exactly. These niggas is weird.
Right. I feel like that whole situation was so interesting, especially like when you bring race into it, because a lot of times the people who are those lowly like henchmen, cleanup men, they are like of color, black people or Mexican people, and their social economic background plays a role, because that's why they're doing that stuff. It's because they're just trying to make money to feed their daughter, like Biggie said. So I feel like a rich white superhero would be extremely tone deaf about stuff like that, and it was really interesting that they brought that up. He's just I don't think we really explained like how everybody has been introduced to the hand. So like you said, Luke Cage was brought in by Misty because she is noticing a lot of like young black men or just young men from Harlem have been working for this mysterious organization and ended up dead. And so she can only do so much. So she's asking Luke to go and help, which is funny because Claire is just like, so is the NYPD giving you some money or?
Exactly.
We still have bills. You need to go get a real job.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's how he's into it, and he figures out that the boys are working. They ended up working for the hand, and that's how him and Danny fought. Jessica had a woman come and ask her to, find
Investigate
her
her husband.
because he's been acting weird. He disappeared. And she wasn't going to do it until somebody called her and was just like, bitch, mind your business.
Exactly. And now she like, no, just because you told me that,
right?
I'm about to look into it even more.
Right. So I forgot exactly. I think he was just ended up working for the hand, and then
he was an architect.
Uh-huh.
He built the building that the hand was in.
Okay.
And that's basically how she ended up finding the Addie to the hand.
Oh, okay.
And she showed up there.
Right. So that's how she got involved. And then Matt he got involved because Foggy asked him to take on Jessica Jones. Well, Jessica Jones did some bullshit. Hogarth was like, stop.
Because
no.
If you in it, then you gonna drag me in it. I
Right.
ain't trying to be in no shit.
Right.
So Hogarth wanted Foggy to tell Jessica, and Foggy like, I'm gonna outsource this. So Foggy tells Matt to tell Jessica, and he follows her to the building. And he realizes that it's some sketchy shit.
Yeah.
And he realizes that it's the hand and all that. And he's like, you don't want to be in this.
Right.
But if we gonna be in this, I'm gonna need your scarf.
The fact that he was putting that scarf on had me sick. I was like, what's wrong with you? Jessica commentary? Oh, bitch, I missed you. I was ready to kiss the fucking screen. She like, why the fuck do you have my scarf on your head? Like, what are you doing?
I definitely missed her too.
She was so fucking hilarious. And then,
I literally put LMAO after
her and Luke, like I think one of them called him like, who's the Karate Kid? I was crying. Why are y'all so fucking funny right now?
And I think we just been stuck in, like Luke Cage was like a little bit more serious. It had funny moments, but Jessica Jones was like funny.
Yeah.
Like it had like funny, like way more funny moments. And then Shit Fist, it was funny, but not like funny, haha, funny, weird. So like...
Not funny, haha.
Funny, weird. So, like, getting all of them together and their different dynamics and everything. Oh my God, it was so amazing.
I loved at the end when they in the fucking Chinese restaurant and he just like, I gotta fucking go. And they just like, slow down, hold on. This is my name. And he just like, no. And they was like, what the you standing here in a scarf.
And then, hold on. The fact that he was like, I can, he's going around turning off all the lights, closing the blinds. He's like, we got to make it seem like it's closed and all of this stuff. And he's just like, I can still hear neon. Like,
what you
who
mean?
can hear neon?
What you mean you can hear neon? What the fuck? What?
But it was really funny because I can hear when lights are on. Like if I'm trying to sleep, it does
make a hum.
Yeah, like if I'm trying to sleep, and and with his powers, I know it's probably just amplified. But like if I'm trying to sleep and the TV is on somewhere in the house, I can hear it, and it's distracting.
I can hear a clock ticking, and I cannot handle it when I'm trying to go to sleep. So
oh my God, hearing a clock tick is it will drive me crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've actually lost a watch. I don't know what fucking happened to that watch. I don't know if I threw it away or something because I could just hear it all night.
Oh my God!
I feel like Edgar Allan Poe made a fucking poem about that shit. I don't know. It was a heart. It was the same thing. It drives me crazy.
Oh my God, that shit was so funny, and I loved how she's just like, "You're the devil of Hell's Kitchen." He's just like, "What do you want?" She's like, nigga, nothing, but this shit is obvious. She's like, they are 2 seconds away from figuring that out, so you might as well just give me my fucking scarf back and act like a normal person. Could you please?
Exactly.
I fucking love that. And then she left because she's just like, oh, y'all into some weird shit. Yep. I'm finna go home. And then she comes back by throwing a fucking car through the restaurant.
Through Electra.
Yes. I was like, there you go, Jessica. I fucking love her. So
yes.
That's
I put in all caps because obviously Claire knows Danny. Danny obviously they know each other Claire knows Luke. Luke now knows Danny. And I was like, and then, anyway, I was just like, wait until they realize they all know Claire. And this is in all caps. And then I was like, better than half the cast fucking Luke Cage. And once they all just like, when Claire walk in and Matt goes, Claire, and then Luke goes, how the fuck you know her?
The fuck you know what she smelled like for? What the hell?
Oh my god, I can't wait for that scene.
Thank God that didn't work out, because then she was like, well, everybody fucked Luke and everybody fucked Claire too, I guess, but
I know
she didn't. She didn't go there.
Exactly.
All right, so that was the first episode, 4 episodes of The Defenders. Next week, we're going to talk about the last 4. Let's talk about She-Hulk now, because we have 2 episodes to talk about, and this podcast episode is already like an hour and 20 minutes long.
Right. Also, I just want to say that at the very end, when they was about to fight Elektra, I just put Defenders assemble. Okay, that's it.
Okay, so my first thought when watching episode 4 of She-Hulk was that Doctor Strange fumbled the bag. He really could have just had a residency in Las Vegas doing magic tricks. No Thanos, no Dormammu, no bullshit. Just titties and money. It could have been all so simple.
My first note is that Wong was watching The Sopranos.
And he was dancing. I want to be Wong's friend. I'm not even mad at Madison, because I would have been trying to kick it with Wong too.
For real, with the little white fur rug.
Yes, it was a vibe in his room.
It was. He had something in his mouth. At first, I thought it was a cigar, but I don't think it was. But he was just dancing to the theme song. That was me
when I was binge watching The Sopranos. I used to be up in my room jamming. That song go hard sometimes. I don't know.
And you know what's so funny is I've only seen like 2 episodes of The Sopranos, but I know that song from The Simpsons.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let's do this thing.
It's a good show. Obviously I loved Madison with a Y, but not where you think. I thought she was funny. I thought she reminded me of the Weekend Update drunk girls at a party skits. It's like, I don't remember Cecily Strong. She used to do that, and she would just sit on there and just be like telling stories, and she would act exactly like Madison. And I was like, well, I hope they do Stefan next.
I've never seen that. I don't remember who this actress like reminds me of, but I was feeling it. At first I was just like, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then she just kept popping up, and I was like, I'm living for it.
I loved her after,
and then the fact that she just she always got a drink in her hand, always partying. Yes. And she's just like, Wongers. I love that. Like, but not drink? Where you think.
Yeah, that was funny. The whole episode was great, but I have to say, I guess we could talk about both episodes at the same time, because Titania was in both. I do not like Titania. I'm not feeling her at all.
She's like if Kim Kardashian was a superhero.
Right.
And it's very aggravating and super over the top.
Yeah. And a little underwhelming still.
Yes. So I don't know if it's, maybe it was just like kind of like a red herring. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like people thought that was supposed to be the villain, but really she's just out here trying to get a bag.
I definitely did.
The Kardashian way.
Right. Like she having a whole like fucking She-Hulk Fenty Beauty launch. Like what the hell?
Yeah. Pop-up shops and shit. Right. Like it's weird.
It was entertaining, but I feel like I was like those people. Like they got me with the red herring, because I really thought like she was gonna be the villain, and I was like, oh, a female villain, a female hero. I was excited. But it's just all like catty. Like it is funny, but I was just like, oh, you know.
But it's also very interesting, because I feel like I've been saying, I feel like Phase 4 we're getting more of what it really is like for like in the MCU. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like what daily life would be like. Yeah. And you have designers that work exclusively with superheroes. You have people that's selling, bootleg superhero merch, and stuff like that. You have superhero influencers that's basically like, hey, you guys. And it's funny.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's poking fun at itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it got real irritating.
Yeah. That was really like the first and the only thing that I was really irritated about with this show was Titania. Everything else, I don't know. I thought I was apprehensive. I feel like when we first started talking about the show before it came out, that it was going to focus too heavily on her dating life. But then when I actually saw the episode, I really liked it. And
yeah,
it was just so interesting, like the whole like dating online thing. Like I didn't do much dating online. I have been on the apps before. And when Nikki said hetero life is grim, I was like, bitch, it fucking is.
No, I was like, I put her first mistake was going on a date with a man.
Facts. Just, why would you do
that? Girl, just be asexual.
just don't even do it.
As someone who has done a plethora of online dating, let me just say that her approach was all wrong.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, Nikki, only men swipe right on everybody. That is a man thing, period. Like, I was very selective of who I swiped right on. And then, out of the people that I even responded to, I will only give probably like like not even that many people my number. And then out of that many people, I will only meet up with like one. You know what I mean? So I was like super fucking selective. I actually met my boyfriend on a dating app 3 years ago. We swiped right on each other. And 3 years later, baby. Our swipe anniversary was 2 days ago.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was just like the way that she went about it. And then she went on a date with every single one that she matched with. No. Quality control, babe.
Yeah.
You literally have to like feel these people out. I was like really like reading their fucking bios. Like if I could find them on Instagram, I'm a try, because I need to know what I'm trying to get into. Yeah. And all of that stuff. And you can tell a lot about a person by what they put and what pictures they post. Because if you put in professional, like, modeling pictures on your dating app, I don't want to fuck with you, because you are obviously way more pretentious than I am.
A little into yourself.
It is, yeah. It was a lot of things that you learn to, like, look out for. Like, oh, red flag, you know? So she was just being thirsty.
I think so. And that's why she had the experience that she did, especially when she was dating as Jen. Like, the one guy that she went out with got up from the table and called her a 6. Babe, what do you think you are?
Exactly.
Because you're not a 6. Not even.
Exactly. I have not had any dates as bad as Jen did.
Yeah.
Because I fucking screened these people.
Yeah.
And blocked them accordingly.
Yeah. Especially if you already okay with sitting in the house. Like, girl, why are you going out on dates with anybody?
Exactly.
And she went on a lot, too.
Just any old body? Like,
no.
Girl. And then it was like this one dude that, hold on. Oh, I was like, she was talking about, it was like a guy and how hot he was. And I was like, you can't trust him. And boom, he only was trying to hit She-Hulk. And I was like, I don't understand why dudes be lying and acting like, you know, they just be acting nice.
That shit was so
and everything
sad.
To get some draws. Yeah. And then just to like dip out. Like, you can literally just go and find a girl that's willing to like have a one night stand with you. Because they exist. You don't have to lie and finesse to get some draws. You really don't.
You really don't. It's 2022. Y'all could just be like, hey, this is what I want. And I'm sure you'll find a lot of people who are okay with it. But
exactly.
Yeah, that was real sad. Hey, especially like how he treated her the next day. Like, she made them fresh squeezed orange juice and breakfast.
She was also doing too much with that.
But that was so nice.
No.
He could have at least sat and ate the fucking breakfast and then left.
Get the fuck out. Why are you even here when the sun is up?
Well, I mean, if he was only there for She-Hulk, I agree. He should have left right after. Like, all right, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's known that she is not always a Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just from the media, I feel like it should be known. So I don't understand, like, why he was surprised when he woke up like, oh, who are you? Bitch, it's Jennifer Walters. Who the... Really?
Exactly.
He wasn't that smart. I don't believe he was a doctor. I feel like he was lying. Yeah.
I forgot that he even said he was a doctor.
Yeah, he said he was like a pediatric somebody, some kind of surgeon or something maybe. And I was just like, no, he's too fucking
Oh, he was a oncologist?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, he's a fucking liar.
Yeah, he was lying. So, yeah, I felt really bad for her because that kind of fucking hurts. Like, when you figure out somebody really actually don't fuck with you like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like she was so cute. Like, I don't think Jen is ugly. Like,
no, Jen is super adorable.
she's adorable. She was standing there with her t-shirt and her panties on. Like, boy, you could have got some more. But whatever. Exactly. She already fucked you on the first night, so... But whatever. Not that that's anything bad. Like, I feel like you should fuck on the first night.
What'd you say?
So I feel like you should fuck on the first night. If that's what you want to do it.
You gotta... Okay, life is too short. That's
is.
What that's what me and one of my friends... Life is too short. If you want to do it, do it.
Do it.
Be safe about it.
Yeah. Have fun.
I was about to say something extra, but, that's a conversation for...
Just text me later.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that happened. The whole, like, I think we are getting some courtroom stuff. Even if it is wacky, I'm still enjoying it. I enjoyed that whole, like...
I think it's more fun.
Yeah,
than,
it is fun.
Regular courtroom shows.
Yeah, and we have Daredevil for the serious courtroom shit. So, whatever. Speaking of Daredevil, we did get like a little teaser at the end with his mask, and I was like, ooh. Which people on TikTok, they was eating Straw Hat Goofy a lot in his comments because he made a video and he's just like, I think that She-Hulk is not like happening in the 616, or he said like it's not canon with the Netflix shows because Daredevil's mask was there, and everybody was just like, well, maybe he just got somebody else to make him a mask or make him a suit because he's in LA and not in New York. And
right.
People were also talking about, like, because, Melvin makes his costumes in his show in New York. And I haven't watched season 3 in a very long time, so I don't know what happens. But they were just like, well, maybe he just don't work with that person no more. Maybe that person got blipped, and while he was blipped, he found somebody else to make his fucking suits. Like,
that's true too.
Let's everybody calm down. They was doing a lot. They was jumping down his throat, but I felt them because I was just like, no, I want the Netflix shows to be canon. Don't take this away from me, please.
Exactly. At this point, it just needs to be canon.
Yes.
Like it just wouldn't make very much sense if it's all different, because in the Netflix shows, the events of the 616 have happened.
Yeah, and it don't really overlap. Like, nothing in the Netflix shows would have to be explained in the MCU, Like, nobody...
Exactly.
Iron Man wouldn't give a shit about the fucking hand, so...
Exactly.
That's fine.
I was watching a video about how people are still on the Mephisto train.
Are they?
And yes,
Oh
because they were saying that, like, when Madison came to Wong and she's like, oh, some like talking goat, devil goat, whatever, made me sign, something. And then she had the heart in her hand. They were like, oh, the heart was like a message to Wong. And Mephisto, like, was the goat, the devil that she was talking to, and that all those little gremlin things, goblins or whatever they were, came from hell. And it was a lot of stuff.
Well, I think they called them demons. So,
and then it was something about
when she said that
the
she
living
had to, like,
tribunal, and it was a lot of theories, and I was just like, I just need to remember what happened in these episodes because I watched them last week. I don't need to know anything else.
Right. When she did say that she had to give them like 6 drops of her blood,
blood.
I was like, oh, that sounds like some real witchcraft. And she was
It
just
does.
like,
I was like, oh,
she was
she
like,
about
woo!
to be going through it,
Right?
But she life's a party,
right? Yeah, it was good. A lot of the jokes. What was the chick's name from Hamilton that was in this? I forgot what her character.
Angelica.
I forgot.
Renee Elise Goldsberry.
Yeah, she was funny. She was dragging the fuck out of She-Hulk. She called her like a D1 football player or something. I was like, oh,
she was going for it. And I not that she's like a stereotype, but I feel like a lot of black women will get her character because I get her
I
character.
get her because she's just like, girl, I'm in here with this sick bob and these bodycon dresses. Would you act like you love yourself? Put some real clothes on. You making us look bad. Damn.
Exactly. And just the fact that she like she's nice. She's a nice person, but she's also just like strictly business. We not friends. We coworkers.
Right.
Like
when she was like, I'm glad we're friends now. She was like, girl, let me go on. Let me go ahead. Let
right.
me go
She's
home.
just like, let me go. Exactly. Let me go home.
Yeah,
This girl done got the wrong idea.
Not too much. Not too much. But I am excited to see her in like new clothes because I was getting tired of looking at them big ass suits too. Like,
oh my god, it looks so bad.
you could just go to the mall. They usually have like tailors, and then they can fix your clothes.
I think her issue is like trying to make it fit both sizes, but you just gonna have to take that L, girl.
I
just
mean, you
get
walking around
get
in
it tailored.
Right, walk around
right.
in a big ass tailored suit then. So
exactly, that's gonna be tailored once you're She-Hulk.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm surprised that Nikki hasn't like said nothing because Nikki always had her little outfits. She always be color coordinated and done up, and she just.
I was like, Nikki dresses like she's in the 80s, and I dig it.
She do, yeah. That whole scene with her and Pug, I thought that was really funny.
It was so cute.
And then
they were so cute
with the Avengers merch. I was like, oh, they must have got that from DH Gate.
They are so cute. Like, I don't know. I was really digging. What was he calling her? Nick the Slick Nick.
Yeah.
He was calling her Slick Nick. And I don't know. Just their repartee.
He would be a sneakerhead too. That's funny to me.
That was adorable.
Alonzo the
Iron
drip
Man
broker.
3s.
Yeah.
Yes, the drip broker.
Oh, with those shoes, they was talking about Easter eggs at the post credits because I guess it was like a Deadpool shoe and some other stuff. So that was cool. If you look at that kind of stuff, I was just like, "Ooh, pretty pictures."
Exactly. Actually, by the time that goes off, I just be on my phone finishing up my like notes and stuff.
Yeah, basically.
What little notes I did take.
Yeah.
In episode 4, when Wong was like trying to talk to Jennifer about what's his name, Johnny or Donnie?
Donnie Blaze, I think.
Oh, okay, Donnie Blaze. He was saying it's gonna like that it would cause like a ripple effect into other dimensions. I could cause like a ripple into different universes and all of this stuff. And it made me think about the whole like incursion thing that people have been talking about and how that's gonna connect to like Secret Wars. And then it made me think about What If and Multiverse of Madness, how they can kind of they have like the power to like destroy worlds, and how Wanda was just going through different multiverses fucking shit up.
Yeah.
So that little bit of conversation kind of stuck with me, and I was like, well, I wonder.
What stuck with me from that conversation is the fact that they probably now gonna have to hire some fucking interns and some like a legal team for Comertage. They're gonna have to do some fucking paperwork and shit now. Can't just be going off
trademark it.
Right. Can't just be going off the honor system apparently because
or the Book of Ashanti. They don't honor that. Like we don't honor that system here.
They don't give a shit about that. So that was interesting. When you just said Johnny Blaze, that just made me think like Johnny Blaze is the name of the Ghost Rider, who is a MCU character. I don't know if you ever saw Ghost Rider when Nick Cage did it. That movie was actually not that bad, but his name is Donnie Blaze. So I'm just like, you're just a scammer all around, huh? You just stealing this man's name.
Huh.
Yeah. I hope Johnny Blaze take a moment from being the Ghost Rider and sue your ass.
And it's really because I was watching something and they said Johnny Blaze, and maybe that's the connection, but it went over my head, so I was just like, whatever. But
yeah,
that's probably why I put Johnny.
Yeah. But yeah, so those were those 2 episodes. I think that's about it.
Also, there was like a really weird fetish guy that she went on a date with, and he's super sketchy. I think that he might be one to watch. Because I think that he's trying to come off as like, he's obviously weird, but I feel like he's trying to come off as like not threatening, not like a villain, but I definitely think that he might come into play in some bigger type of way.
The one
and
that
he's
was
just
asking
like,
all the questions.
yeah, and then he took the stand and he was basically just like, oh yeah, she just kind of confided in me. I'm like a really nice guy, like that type of person, you know, those type of guys. So I was just like, I got my eye out for you because you seem super fucking weird and a little too into the fact that she is a She-Hulk and all of that stuff. So I don't know. You know, I'm not one to be, you know, speculating.
I do hope that in the next episode, since it seemed like, you know, that's when we're gonna see Daredevil, I'm hoping that something kind of picks up. Like I guess I will be completely fine if this is just non-consequential, just comedy and fun the whole like 8 or 9 episodes, because I would like to see her have an arc, because right now we're in a place where she's in denial about being the Hulk and, you know, not really accepting that part of her life, the hero-ness.
And even like we haven't really been introduced to like any type of villain really, and all of that stuff. You know, there have been little sketchy people like the group of boys that tried to bum rush her. This dude that I was just talking about that she went on a date with. So we've been introduced to people that could play a part, but I want to know like if she's actually gonna have like a main villain, because Titania obviously ain't it.
All right.
Alrighty, guys. Well, if you made it to the end, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are the Southside of Wakanda podcast, and this was our Defenders episodes 1 through 4 discussion. Next week, we'll be talking about the Defenders episodes 5 through 8. So we're going to be finishing out Defenders in 2 weeks. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and also rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
And share us with your friends.
Yes, tell all your black people. Bye, guys.
Bye.